Hello and welcome to Bible Study with Alice, and today we're on day 125, Psalm 125 of our daily psalm reading. We're reading from the ESV translation, but you're more than welcome to join us from a different translation. As you can see, we are on Psalm 125. These videos are filmed in real time. Today's date is the 8th of March 25 and it's a Saturday. You can find the previous 124 Psalms in the playlist below. There is a disclaimer as usual, and that is one, these videos are unedited, and also I've probably stumbled my wording. Let's get started. The Lord surrounds his people, a song of ascent. Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but abides forever. As a mountain surrounds Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people. From this time forth and forevermore, for the skeeper of the wickedness shall not rest on the land allotted to the righteous, lest the righteous stretch out their hands to do wrong. Do good, O Lord, to those who are good, and to those who are of right in their heart, but those who turn aside to their crooked ways, the Lord will lead away with evildoers. Peace be upon Israel. So that is Psalm 125 complete. And tomorrow we will be doing Psalm 126. So that's the first half of the video complete. So those who are new, I split the videos into 3 parts. So the first part is where we read the psalm. The second part we talk about the time period, and the third part we talk about the psalm that we've read, which is Psalm 125. So with the psalm's time periods, they're written over 1,000-year time period, and because there's 150 psalms in the book of Psalms, so there was a lot of psalms, to be perfectly honest. But over 1,000-year time period, it probably seems like a vast period of time for them to be written. But a lot of the psalms were written simultaneously, so there are going to be a lot of psalms that are very closely linked with each other, or could be written by the same author around about the same sort of time period. So you've got to be mindful that even though they're written over 1,000-year time period, that those psalms can actually in fact be closely linked to another psalm. So even though there's 150 of them, they're written over a 1,000-year period, doesn't necessarily mean it's taken them 1,000-year time period to write 150 psalms. There are psalms where there is a time period linked to them, and there's also an event, which historians and scholars will, have the evidence to suggest that those psalms were written at that time with that event linked to it and all that stuff. And to be perfectly honest, those type of psalms are actually ideal for me, because I can then visualize when those psalms were written at that time period and all that sort of stuff. Then you've got those psalms where they are unknown but have an event linked to them, and the event could be during captivity, famine, war, conflict, during a king's reign, could be during any point of their reign, start, middle or end, or even could be written before they were even king. It could be written about anything like that. And then you've got those psalms where the time period is unknown and the event is also unknown. So it then becomes more difficult to understand then when those psalms were potentially written, which kind of gives the idea of them being written over a 1,000-year time period, in all honesty, because I don't know exactly when they were actually written due to that fact. Now, when I was writing this, I don't know why, but why I kind of just scribbled it. but I did kind of, I could have written it a bit better. I do apologise. But this is actually filmed pretty close to 11 o'clock in the morning. So it's pretty much going to be done and then pretty much uploaded. It's just due to the fact that I had a couple of tutorials for university work for why I was kind of in a rush, had to do them first and then do this video. So, you know, I could have done it earlier, but I needed also to prepare for my my uni work as well. I am in my final year at university, but and also work full-time and doing this channel, which is really difficult, but I'm getting there. I mean, once my degree is completed, I can then obviously move on to focus solely on my full-time work and my channel. But so I do apologise that it is a bit near, but I know what it means, and I can actually point out where it says it as well. So Psalm 125 is unknown, but it was likely, and they say likely because they're not 100% sure, would have been written during the Babylonian captivity. It encourages people to trust in God and that God will protect them. The psalm compares those who trust in God to Mount Zion. And now, why I say it's scribbled, because it actually says here, so we can just move over here. So, obviously here. Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but abide forever. So basically, what it's trying to say with that particular point, that those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but abide forever. So what that is actually suggesting here is those who actually trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, because Mount Zion cannot be moved, regardless of however you want to see it as. You cannot move it. And that is basically explaining the trust that that person has in the Lord. That it is like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, because you cannot move a mountain regardless of it, but you cannot move Mount Zion. So, which is obviously what it's saying here, is it encourages people to trust in God, that God will protect them. And it's true, because if this was actually written, now I'm saying if it was, because obviously we don't 100% know if it was actually written, but it's likely to have written, so we're going to go with the likelihood that it was written. But with it being written during the captivity of the Babylonians, that they've obviously would have to have trust in God, that God will protect them and will help them through the harsh conditions, the harsh lifestyle that it would have been during that captivity time period. Because obviously during that time period it was going to be very hard time to live in. I mean, it was very difficult period regardless of it. And those people would have had to have the utmost trust in God, that God will help them, will protect them. Which then obviously is the reason why the psalmist then compares Psalm 125 to, where it says here, those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but abides forever. So obviously, it is a very big indication that, you know, they have to have a lot of trust in God, in the Lord, that, you know, that they can get past this tough, difficult period in time, that they are going to get past it all, because you have to have so much trust in God to obviously then, obviously for the psalmist to use the, you know, to compare and use the word in Mount Zion, because obviously Mount Zion is such a big thing and such a big trust to have in the Lord. And obviously, as that is such a fast thing to want to, you know, to compare it to. It is a big thing to compare anything to that in particular. And because of that, the people who were during the time of the captivity would have had so much trust in the Lord to get through it, because they believe that the Lord will help them. They believe that He will support them and protect them through their tough conditions that they were living through. So that is Psalm 125 complete. I'll write it in. It's a Saturday today, so we're on day 1, 2, 5, and we are on the 8th of the 3rd, 25. So tomorrow we'll be doing 126. So thank you for watching. Please like my content, please subscribe to my channel, and please turn on the notification bell so you then get notified of content like this that gets uploaded to the channel. Thank you and goodbye.